Hello, beautiful. I have a question for you, or actually, I received a question that really has to do with how to be present and how to be productive. Can both of those things exist simultaneously? I'm going to answer this question today because, as you guys know, I believe that putting your frequency first, putting presence first, putting your vibration first is primary. It's our number one job, and everything else that we do in life fulfills us from that place, right? So everything else is secondary: relationships, career, health, working out, whatever it is that we do. If it's not riding on the waves of presence, it's usually the recipe for a really overwhelmed life. Really, overwhelm is the result of overthinking and being under focused, or, overstimulated by all the input that we're getting in our lives and being under focused. So I'm going to support you today if this is something you've been struggling with. I know our circumstances are really different right now, and it's super important to get grounded, but also have a target, have a one-pointed focus. So the question I received is from Gazal, and Gazal said, "Hi, Veronica, I'm practicing presence and I'm focusing on being. I see you and get really inspired by you that you're also practicing presence and creating so much content and so much in your life. And when I practice presence, I'm not that productive." Can you guys relate to that? Like when you're deep in meditation or in presence and you're putting your spiritual path first, you're uninspired or you don't really get productive because you're so happy just being. If you can relate to that, just put presence in the comments. So she says, "When I practice presence, I'm just not that productive. So can you guide us on how to create balance between being and doing, and share with us how you bring presence in your daily life or in your daily doing? How do you plan and then act through presence? That would be really helpful." Such a good question, and I've gotten this question a lot, and I'm finally answering it. So first, let's all take a deep, deep breath in. No matter where you are, no matter what's happening in your life right now, you have the power to breathe. Beautiful, Priyanta. Good, good, good. And then exhaling out. Yeah, I really hear that. It's so, so common. How do we find balance between presence and productivity, or being and doing? And is it actually possible? Thank you. So here, I'm going to share with you guys 5 strategies. Julie, let me know who else is here. It's so good to connect with you here. I'm going to give you 5 strategies that I use in my own life. And I will tell you, there was a while there that presence and productivity were like completely divorced. They were like on separate continents, and I didn't have any balance between the two. And quite frankly, after my trip to the Redwoods, my whole journey, some of you guys know, in 2009, I left my whole life behind and moved to the Redwood Forest to heal, find myself, all of that. I went deep into presence in those redwoods, and then from there, a year and a half later, moved into Los Angeles. So I had to figure out how to take the state I had discovered inside of myself, the diamond self, presence, and how to actually sustain 3 jobs in order to survive. I was working 3 jobs at that time. It was in 2011, and had my own business, and I was really struggling. So what I'm going to share with you is what I used and what I still practice in order to bridge the gap between like having 2 separate worlds. Presence and productivity can be beautifully married together. And I believe it's what is really important at this time. We are target focused creatures, okay? Like we are human beings, right? So we are human beings. By nature, we are here to just be. It is in our title, human being. Most of us are not human beings. Most of us are human doings running around like crazy people. So how do we actually honor the part of us that is target focused? It's our nature to have a target and to move towards that and to make a meaningful contribution. It's one of our deepest needs, our core needs as a human, while also honoring the fact that we are human beings, right? How do we contribute and give and create content, or whatever it is that we do, heal or coach or paint or dance? all the while, well, dancing's easy, painting's easy to just be, you don't need thought for that. But how do we do the things we need thought for while maintaining and honoring our primary job, which is to be present or to put your frequency first? So the 5 strategies I want to share with you today for being present and productive are: number 1, put presence first, like I said. So every morning, that is the time, whenever you start your day, how do you start your day? What is the first thing you do when your eyes open up from sleep state and poof, pull you into your story? Do you immediately dive into thinking about what you need to do that day? Or do you consciously anchor into the diamond self or anchor into presence? Before I even get out of bed, I focus on my breath and just being present with my body breathing, or my kitty cat might be there. Usually Jason's already meditating by the time I'm up. So I'm just present with whatever is in the room, whatever is in the space, and I consciously pull my attention back from my thinking mind and into my body breathing, the light maybe coming through the window, the kitty cat purring next to me, whatever it is, my heart beating. So if we don't do this, the trance of negativity, which is the common status quo, basically, everyone mostly is in a negative panic fear state. And if we just let ourselves go on default into that trance of negativity, we're in trouble. So first thing, start your day with presence first, okay? So another great way to do it is intention first thing in the morning. You could place one hand on your heart and share your intention. Beautiful, Melissa. I love you guys. So happy to see you, and happy belated birthday. So I love to set an intention first thing in the morning. And usually my intention is to embody the deepest level of presence available for me today. My intention is to embody the deepest level of presence available for me today. What that does for me is it ensures that my purpose, my target, is simply to be present as much of the time as possible, meaning I am going to continuously pull my focus and infuse my environment and my life with things that are wonderful to look at. Flowers, candles, you don't have to spend money. It could be cutting eucalyptus from the backyard or something. Things that, like, nature is a beautiful thing to have around you. Create a life for yourself or an environment that naturally relaxes you, which naturally puts you into your state of being a human being, right? So the second strategy that I want to share with you in order to be present and productive and blend those two, now that you've gotten out of bed, you have put presence first, you're basically saying, my heart is the master of my life. When I wake up in the morning, my first focus is my breath. I take 10 deep breaths, or however you come into presence. From that place, presence, you are literally leading with presence first. The second strategy is have one pointed focus. We just did a training in the Diamond Dojo a few hours ago, our monthly membership. The whole thing was about being on purpose and being unstoppable. And really what that has to do with is having a quarterly focus. Know exactly what your target is, what your mission is, and every day you move towards that with your actions. And anything that is pulling your focus from that, you just put it on the side for now, okay? So it's streamlining your focus. Most of us are overwhelmed because we're under-focused. We have so much scattered, so many things we're trying to do, 1,000 things on our to-do list, and all these people pulling at us, and all this energy coming from the outside in. It's so important to connect with your purpose, your target, your vision for the next 90 days, for this quarter, and move towards that rather than expecting the world, letting the world dictate your energy. You generate the energy and you focus on what you're bringing into manifestation in your life or creation. For the question Ghazal asked, she said, how do you create so much content, for example, while putting presence first? One of the ways is I basically, when I'm sitting in meditation or in presence, that's where a lot of the content comes from, or questions from you guys, or whatever the needs are of people. But when I am creating that content, I don't come from here. I usually am sitting outside in presence, and then the content will come. The ideas will come. Oh my God, it doesn't come from thinking. It comes from another state of consciousness. It's like an email will drop in. Have you ever had that moment where you just poof had this great idea and it didn't come from thinking? It just like landed in your consciousness. When we're present, we make ourselves available for miracles and constructive ideas and solutions and generosity and brilliant content, things that are really valuable because they're coming from the soul, they're coming from this higher place. But if we're always stuck in the mind, turning our wheels, overthinking, we can never tap into our true brilliance. This is why it's so important. So have that clear, one-pointed focus, that quarterly target as well, and streamline your thinking and action towards that one goal. Some examples are if you're, let's say, building a coaching business and you're choosing to enroll 5 new clients in the next 90 days, that's your focus. And then every action you take is to drive that action forward, to drive that goal forward from presence, from relaxed, inspired action. And the great thing is, if anything else comes into your world that doesn't drive that vision forward, you say, no, thank you, maybe later, and keep going with whatever drives that vision forward and use that target as a practice. So what do you want to create in these next 90 days is a great question to ask yourself. What would you love to see come into manifestation? And set a really clear goal for yourself, write it down and move towards that. Connect with it daily. Third strategy for being present and productive is, you guys know this one. It is shine time. Shine time, okay? So this is all day long, every hour or two, to stop for 2 minutes, maybe more, maybe less, and take a breath. Shine time is the 3 B's. Breathe, connect with your body. Body awareness is the second B. And third B is brow center. Just close your eyes and let your eyes fall still on one spot, the brow center or bridge of the nose. Breathe, feel your body, come out of thinking and into your body breathing. You can place your hands on your heart. Come home to the present moment again and again and again until your mind is trained into being home and visiting the thinking world rather than being lost in the thinking world all day long, and visiting your true home, your true human beingness every now and then, right? We got to flip the switch. We got to turn the light on in our lives, turn on presence first, and thinking supports that action, but we just visit there every now and then. That's a lifelong journey, or it can be. Again and again and again, shine time, pausing, pausing, pausing every couple hours. Number 4, strategy for bridging or being or staying present and being productive, okay? Number 4 is, I call this Zen action. The things that don't require thinking, like washing the dishes or taking a shower, washing your hands, going for a walk, feeding your dog or cat, making a meal for your children, whatever it is, anything that doesn't require thinking, cleaning your house, washing the car, decluttering, which is a great thing to do if you are depressed or stuck or really in a dark place right now. Declutter. This is a powerful time to make space. There's some powerful energy moving in if we let it. There's a lot of blessings coming in now and always, but especially right now, there's a massive clearing happening on our planet. So you can sort of contribute to that by cleaning up your environment, your body, and your mind, okay, and your technology. Just use this time to consciously have that Zen action. So what I do is whenever I don't need my thinking mind, whenever I don't need my thinking mind, I simply put my attention on the physical experience of the water as I'm washing the dishes. And I keep pulling my focus back. The mind is gonna try to pull you into thought. It's a default. It'll keep going into thinking. And that's why so many people are overwhelmed and drained, because we don't realize it's happening. And it's the biggest energy crisis in the world, is really the thinking is draining us. So just coming into the simplicity of being with what is right here, breathing, dropping thought, and we're so overly stimulated. to unpack that, you just let the nervous system release a lot of that by becoming focused and present with what is right in front of you, okay? Zen action, the simple actions without thinking, being exactly where you are. Fifth and last strategy for being present and being productive simultaneously, having a flourishing life while putting presence first, is to stop before you start. Stop before you start. So when a good example is what I was saying earlier, when I create content, I don't just go, okay, I'm gonna go create content. Let me think about it now and write it all down. Oh, you're so welcome. I actually stop before I start. So if one thing ends, let's say Julie, you're a brilliant musician and you just had this rehearsal and and all these things, then you stop after, and then you have a date or you have somewhere to go after that. Most people will go from the rehearsal and just like race to the next thing, and they're never where they are. They're just like racing to the next thing. I love to stop before I start. So whenever one chapter ends in a day, like the rehearsal, let's say, that's a pause. It's an opportunity to pause, take a few breaths, get still, maybe in your car or in the bathroom or out in nature or just wherever you are at your desk. Take a few breaths and pause or stop before you start. So what I do, let's say, okay, my next thing I'm gonna do after this is create a workshop. I will stop before I start. I'll go out in nature, I'll sit in the chair, I'll put my feet on the earth, and I will breathe and connect. And I'm not even thinking about the workshop I'm about to write. I just sit and I'm fully here with the leaves and the trees and birds, etc. And with whatever I'm feeling, doesn't matter what I'm feeling, anxiety or joy or any of the feelings, I'm present with that too. I let it all be as it is. Just let it all move, let it all be here. As I'm present, eventually what ends up happening is I get recharged. It's like plugging in a socket, a phone into the socket. We recharge in silence or in presence. And then from that overflow, it's like poof, an idea comes in, like an email drops into an inbox, poof, and I'll just start writing. So this is a really powerful shift because so many of us are trying to be productive out of fear to make money or to survive or to do this thing. And what happens is it drains us because our action's coming from fear. But when our action comes from presence, we actually create more abundance in our lives. We actually can shine bright and be super energized while creating a lot and being super productive because we're plugged in all the time. Constantly. We're at home more than we're departed in our thoughts, right? We're in presence rather than overthinking in some faraway place that doesn't even exist. So I hope that this supports you guys. I just want to say these times are, I'd love to make a video on it if you would like. Just let me know in the comments here. But I will say this. Your frequency is essential right now. Frequency is everything, no matter what's happening in the world right now or on a regular day. Our job is to put our frequency first, and whatever's pulling you into excessive thinking, be aware. Is it actually necessary? Is it pushing your target? Is it aligning you with your vision, with your mission, with your target, with your service, with what you're here to create in the world or give? Or is it draining the crap out of you? If it is draining you, ask yourself if it's necessary. If it's not, now's a great time to declutter, trim the fat, and stay focused on your frequency and on serving from the overflow. All right, you guys, I love you guys. I'm so grateful for you. Tara's in the house. So if you got something from this, and if you are choosing to put your frequency first and put presence first, all the while being productive or creating something beautiful in your life, give this video a thumbs up if it helped you in some way. And I'm so grateful to share this journey with you. I love you guys. Enjoy this weekend, this special weekend, this Easter weekend, and enjoy the rising of the light that is happening within all of us here and now. Mwah.